guys know it is Drunken Chat, son.
All right, welcome again to It's Drunken Chat, son, on the Comic Crusaders Network on the Mighty Mel V Work channel. Welcome again. We are here to talk all things reading comic books, movies, geek stuff, all that stuff. We're going to get it going. I'm not sure if any of the other gentlemen are joining in tonight, but I'm here with you to get it going. And I do want to give a quick shout out to the couple of people that have come up with us early, GT Key Comics and Daniel Berry. If you guys are out there, go ahead and shout it out, and also whatever you're drinking. I am still on a alcohol strike until the Mighty Mel V comes back. Then we can go ahead and we can celebrate. But in the meantime, let's get right into it because man, there was a lot of stuff that did happen this week, and I want to make sure we hit that stuff without freaking getting everybody tired and everything. Hey, so first thing I want to talk about is Akira Toriyama, who was the Dragon Ball Z creator and also a manga artist at the tender age of 68. He passed away this week. Too soon, especially when you consider the fact that a lot of people in Japan they do tend to live till like 100 sometimes, right? So eventually he passed away at 68. They even gave us his, why he died. He apparently was due to an acute subdural hematoma, blood clots on the brain. That they say they usually forms from an injury, but it doesn't say exactly what the injury was. So, yep, too soon. Yeah, shout out to Awesome Sauce Radio. He's still feeling under the weather. Got that COVID, man. Freaking still getting fucked up. Hey, want to give a shout out to Raymond Camacho. Freaking, what's going on, brother? But yeah, freaking shout out to the family of Kira Toriyama. Freaking gone too soon. Next thing I'm gonna get into is of course, we're going to get into some money stuff, and this is pretty interesting. Not for how the money actually did, but for some of the storylines behind what was going on with some of the stuff. Um, and what I can say is that some stuff was stagflating. It wasn't. It wanted to be. It wasn't necessarily good, but it wasn't necessarily bad. So it was hard to make any type of really good moves on stock, except for one, which is Mike the Pipe Productions. But I'm still in that. Let's not make any new positions on that until they actually come out with the new 8K order following. The other thing that was pretty big this week was Tencent Holdings. Tencent Holdings is one of the big companies that actually has a big holding for Fortnite. People don't realize that. But a bill just got passed. This actually didn't get passed. They had it passed through Congress. Actually, before going up to the House of Representatives, which I think is going to be this coming week, that they are going to not ban TikTok. However, they're going to say it's not going to be allowed for American users unless they pass it off and sell it off to an American company. I know people are like pissed off. They're like, oh, you had the CEO and he told you this and he told you that. No, he sold it off. He gave the information to Oracle servers, but people forget to look into where those Oracle servers actually reside. And if you know anything about IT, it's not who owns the servers, it's where does servers reside. That can be a big piece of what's going on. Hey, what's going on? Sir Christopher Great and Dre at Barnhouse Comics. Hey, what's going on? Thank you guys for stopping by. Now, we actually, the Drunken Chat watch list actually was worse than the S&P. It was worse than the Russell 5000, I believe. It was due to a couple pieces such as Bandai that didn't do too well. Paramount wasn't too hot. Warner Brothers wasn't too hot. It hasn't been doing so hot ever since the whole thing with Paramount broke off. because they were supposed to merge. Lionsgate Entertainment was not doing too hot. Mike the Bright production actually went up, I believe, like, but 2/10 of a percent. As we're still waiting, um, are still waiting for some news. And let's see, did I have this on here? I did not have it on here, unfortunately. But I will say that the company to look out for in this coming quarter is going to be Comcast. Is going to be Comcast because Comcast owns Universal Group. And Universal Group, when we go to the movies, because I just saw this movie, I just went out with the fam to go see this movie, which was Kung Fu Panda. And when I look at what's going on, number one, still Doom Part Two, right? But when we walked to the AMC and boom, it was just packed of people, just waiting to go see this freaking movie, this Kung Fu Panda movie. Yeah, it's gonna have some pretty good numbers, right? And the way they switched it off, that there is not just going to be Poe anymore. It's going to be he's going to be handing it off to these newer characters that are in the franchise. I can see Universal is going to be doing well. Now, if you go down this list, you can see that Universal is on here quite a few times for Kung Fu Panda. There's other movie called Migration, which I believe was the other portion of the people that were there at the AMC is supposed to be a horror movie. And then there's another movie called Argyle that's on there, which is not just in theaters, but is also on Amazon Prime right now. So, which I want you to look at real closely and realize that there are zero Disney Pixar type movies on here. The closest that you got is Madam Web, and everybody hates that freaking movie. Well, not everybody. I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. Um, but it's been the craziest thing, and I'm going to get into that because that has been some of the points from some of the stock activists about what the hell is going on with freaking Disney. Now, in the meantime, yep, box office Kung Fu Panda 4 bounded out at 3.8 million freaking dollars. Fourth film in the franchise is tipped to open for more than 50 million this weekend. $3.8 million in Thursday as of 2 p.m. So that's pretty damn good. Return of Jack Black, he was all over the place, and Aquafina, it was her first time in there, and I can tell you, I really like the character that they had her playing in there. Now, of course, as comic book fans, what do we really care about? We really care about how is Marvel's parent company, which is Disney, how are they doing? And it was kind of interesting what this guy was saying. Bob Iger, who is the current CEO, who took over for Bob Chapek, saying that Disney has killed a few projects amid a studio overhaul. They just have been kind of secret about it, and they've not been that public about it, which is really interesting. It says we're doing a lot when we talk about improving our film slate. There are really three approaches. One is you have to kill things you no longer believe in, and that's not easy in this business. And then he doesn't say what the other two or three is. A lot of people, Disney has had some misfires at the box office, including areas where it's dominated for years, like animation and the superhero fair, which activist investors are using as one cudgel as they push to get their outside candidates onto the Disney board. Now, a lot of people think it's audience fatigue. It's not audience fatigue. He says they want great films, and if you build it great, they will come. And he said noted that he noted that has made nearly 30 billion from 33 films, and I'm going to get into that a little bit later. Now, but of course, the big part of this article is that he's saying that they killed a few projects amid the studio overhaul. So I was starting to think, okay, well, what have they put out there that they announced that are probably not happening anymore? And there's all the stuff that they put up during some of the Disney freaking earnings calls and Disney events and everything, and all we can do is go off of what he said. So for once, one of the biggest things that he said at one of the earnings calls that a lot of people didn't catch is he said that that Disney is going to start pulling back on sending these cinematic releases. They're going to still focus on the Disney Plus releases, right? And they're going to pull back on the cinematic releases, right? Because if it's on Disney Plus, people aren't as pissed off about Disney Plus stuff. It's like, oh, it's a character that I don't even care about. You put it on Disney Plus. I didn't have to spend 40, $50 at the freaking cinema to go see that stuff, so they could care less. But if it reaches cinema, if it reaches the theaters, it better be pretty damn good. So that's what he was saying was going to happen. Well, so what do we got here? If you look at this one is for the Star Wars stuff. Uh, Looks like I'm not sure if Children, Blood and Bone. Never heard of that. Droid Story has not made it out. Um, and Strangers of the New Republic, that has not made it out. I think I have heard stuff about Lando recently, so I think that might still be on. But Visions, which is really good, has already been done. Mandalorian still been done. Rogue Squadron came out, and I know some people, the Star Wars fans, like it, but for the general audience, it was very mixed. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Acolyte, Bad Batch, Indiana Jones got freaking clobbered. And I think Willow, the biggest news that it ever had was that it had a gay relationship in there, and I think that was about it. Um, then what else we got? We got I think Knights of the Old Republic, a remake, Dark Forces remasters, Star Wars Eclipse. It goes on and on and on about like all these projects that was supposed specifically for Star Wars. Um, Skeleton Crew up there as well. That we're not really sure what's going on with those because I can't say for sure that any of the latest Star Wars projects has made enough money for them to say, "Yep, let's go ahead and freaking whip it out. Go ahead and keep funding the stuff." And that's very important to say because Disney just had to borrow another 4.56, $6 billion this week in order to fund some of their media projects. I forget whether it was by Morgan Stanley or I forget who it was, but yeah, it was like 6 billion they borrowed this week. Now, when it comes to the superhero stuff, the Marvel MCU stuff. Now, yeah, we've had Shang-Chi, and I think I've heard them thinking about also doing a part two to the Shang-Chi. I think that kind of got confirmed this week. Um, but the Ironheart, I don't think that's going to happen anymore. Even though that was supposed to be a TV series, I don't think there was just enough support behind the actress that's playing it. Fantastic Four, of course, that's freaking happening. People have been clamoring for that for a while. I can't believe I heard people still talking about Eternals, a part two happening. I can't believe that. Armor Wars. If you're not having Ironheart, you're not going to have Armor Wars because that was supposed. I think that was supposed to be how it was supposed to happen. You're supposed to have the Ironheart thing happen, and the stuff from that happening was supposed to lead into Armor Wars. So I think because of that, now you got it kanked. And of course, now also you've also got Rhodes, Colonel Rhodes back, so you could also put that together as well. Hawkeye was okay. She-Hulk bombed. Miss Marvel done. Black Panther #2. That did okay. And then I'm trying to see what else. Of course, the Agatha Harkness deal that was supposed to be happening. In fact, they shot it already. And then what else we got? Oh yeah, Okoye, 10 Rings for January 2026, Rogue in 2027, Warlock 2027, Wolverine. I believe that was supposed to be a movie. That's probably happening. The Hercules one, I believe that was supposed to be happening as well. I don't think that's going to freaking happen because knowing what we know now, because of the direction that they were probably going to take them as far as gender, sexuality, they were probably going to try to take it that way. Now it's probably been scrapped because of like there's probably been a lot of behind the chairs talking. Like, hey, you guys were focused on all this other content that was trying to be inclusive, but you didn't actually focus on the actual story. And I think that's where they got ripped apart. Agents of Atlas, that's that was a rumor. Agents of Atlas was over a rumor. I never saw any confirmation that that was happening. A Ghost Rider, that was a rumor, a proposed. Let's make it happen. Sentry, of course, we do have that character that was supposed to be signed. I forget what the name of the guy was. So once again, this is a proposed. Let's try and make it happen. Champions, I never heard anything about Champions or anything, so that's possibly projected as well. What I was surprised that I don't see on people, a lot of people's list, is I forget what was the name of that all-female A Force, that all-female superhero force, which they tried to allude to in that one movie, but nobody ever talked to that as well. Where is X Men? It's probably on one of these other pages. Let's see. Yeah, it's not on here. Yep, it's not on here. Oh well. Yeah, there's probably a lot of stuff that's supposed to be on here that's not on here. Um, but yeah, I'm seeing, and these are the other Disney freaking projects that they got trying to slap together. Iwaju, which is like the bottom right freaking corner. That is happening. Um, that is definitely freaking happening. They've already just put it out on Disney Plus, and the reason why that type of stuff is definitely going to happen um, is because what they did was they outsourced it to an African studio, and of course because the African studios are a lot cheaper, and they are not beholden to the same agreements from the IETC strikes that was happening. They didn't have to stop. They just kept freaking working so they can get paid. And I have a feeling that if Waju does well, or any of these other little African projects does well, you're going to you're going to see Disney freaking try and strike the whale again, quite a few more times. Um, just like the Shogun stuff that's out there. But the Waju, because it's cheaper and it's not beholden to a lot of these other contracts, this is going to be interesting to watch. Okay, so the other big news, it was not big. It all depends on where you're from. So the big news that was happening is one of the investor activist companies that owns a lot of stock in Disney put out this white paper on why they are pissed off at Disney and why they want to kick at least 3 board members off and insert their own people in. It's about 133 pages long. I'm not going to go through all of it. I'm going to go through some of the major points that could give you guys some direction as you guys are flipping through your freaking comics, trying to speculate on what stuff to freaking buy when it comes to comics. So what was the product contest about? Disney is they're saying that Disney is the most advantaged consumer entertainment company in the world and should have had a winning hand in today's evolving landscape for entertainment. But instead, it lost its way over the past decade and fell from its envied #1 spot. Yep, I can attest to that. For 10 years running, it was at the top spot with all the MCU stuff, with a bunch of the animation stuff, with through Pixar and everything. It was running tables. Now, I showed you guys earlier, it couldn't even crack the freaking top 10. And they believe that the root cause of this is underperformance is poor oversight from board that lacks focus, alignment, and accountability. Boo hoo hoo. Now, what Trion wants to do is, because they are a fund management, they are a multi-billion-dollar investment company. They want to put their own guys on there. They have board members on Heinz, Wendy's, P&G, PepsiCo, DuPont, and Comcast. Now, the Comcast, the fact that they have people on Comcast, that is attractive. However, Wendy's, right? If you're not tracking what the fuck was going on with Wendy's for the last couple of weeks, people are absolutely livid and pissed off at Wendy's because of that whole dynamic pricing bullshit. And you know who gets the freaking sign off on that shit? Your board members. Your fucking board members. Absolutely. So they should have pulled that shit off way before they released that shit. They should have not put that shit out. And then DuPont over the last 3 weeks has been fighting for their motherfucking lives when it comes to fucking stocks. So um, they I think somebody should have proofread what the fuck they got going on here. In the meantime, why are they seeking board representation at Disney? Because of chronic underperformance. Root cause of underperformance was this board, and they believe that these Treon guys can help. Now, despite its scale, Disney's overall medium margins, like blah blah blah, whatever. So here's the interesting thing about this chart right here. It put it com- Treon compared itself to other like stocks, right? Stocks that are like it in as far as the media world. It says, hey, over the last year, Disney's media business has generated $56 billion of revenue, compared to Paramount, Netflix, NBC Universal, Warner Brothers Discovery. Disney was at the top. It was number one with $56 billion in revenue. However, the graph to the right of it says that they are last when it comes to when you account for earnings before taxes and depreciation. That means when you account for how much money they own, but how much taxes that they're going to have to pay, and labor costs, they said they are dead last. Um, Paramount, they're behind Paramount, NBC, Netflix, which is crazy. And what I didn't, I, you got me gobsmacked when you're telling me that Warner Brothers, which is the parent company for DC, was number one at 24%. Yet Disney, which owns Marvel, was last. That's crazy to me. Hey, what's going on, freaking Chad Cave? Hey, what's going on, man? And T Jones. So T Jones is asking where's X-Men? They have Rogue, but no X-Men. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Well, I'm not sure what was going on in that one. And then T Jones says, hey, there won't be any A Force after the success or lack thereof of the Marvels. Yeah, that I would say after the freaking mess up of the whole not the Eternals, the bolts. You know, there was Thunder, there was shit, Black Bolt and Medusa. That whole show. After that, I think it was a fucking wrap on that one. Uh, well, there was a plan with Infinity. She was in the Thunderbolt, not excuse me, Thor: Love and Thunder movie, and it was people weren't even feeling that movie. So it was like, I don't know, man. I don't know what they're doing. And Trian is asking what the fuck are they doing as well. $71 billion. So what they're also saying is that the $71 billion acquisition of Fox, which again, Fox, is where we're getting freaking X-Men from. They're saying it was resulted in a board failure on multiple fronts. Said despite being billed as a studio and IP acquisition to add streaming scale, the actual thing is that 67% of Fox's pro forma earnings before taxes and depreciation was generated from its TV networks. That means that Disney bought it thinking that they were going to get money from its streaming stuff, but no, it was making most of its money from its TV networks. Go fucking duh. In their view, the Fox deal was a result of misaligned incentives. So it was kind of weird because right after they did the deal to buy Fox, all of a sudden they gave Bob Iger a huge freaking bonus, and they re-signed him for a contract of 4 more years. And something that I had touted, which should have made him a lot of money, was when they also bought a piece of the India Star business. That's the Fox version in India. That should have been freaking huge. But of course, when they lost those contracts on the sports stuff, like rugby, and I forget the name of the other joint that's like baseball, I forget the name of it right now. When they lost out on those freaking contracts, they lost all the freaking possible freaking revenue from that stuff. And then also acquiring a controlling interest in Hulu seems to be at odds with this strategy to focus on franchise content, and the fact that there's a whole weird Hulu put call agreement with Comcast, where Comcast is actually coming out on the other end, and they actually owe a bunch of freaking money and stocks to Comcast right now. I'm telling you, freaking Comcast right now is on fire right now. I just don't think the investors realize it right now. And then they said they started laughing at him. And here we go. This Treon started laughing at Disney and saying, "Hey, even when you guys pulled out who you guys consider your own peers, we could talk about Disney put out that, hey, yeah, we're comparable to like Netflix and Alphabet and Amazon and Apple and Meta and Comcast. Is even when you guys pull your numbers out against people that are like consider your own peers, you guys lost. You guys got beat. You guys lost 12% of your earnings per share, which is like behind. The only one that actually beat with the earnings per share was Paramount. And then they started pulling out some of their big failures. The Haunted Mansion reportedly failed to earn back its budget. I like the freaking movie. Don't know where it freaking went wrong, other than maybe the marketing just wasn't really good, or they just didn't have enough stars. I don't know what the hell happened with that one. The Marvels ended its box office run as the lowest grossing MCU movie in history, Lightyear. I know a lot of people stayed across from that because of the rumors of a gay relationship in that one. Indiana Jones 5 was reported to lose nearly 100 million, and Wish, which nobody asked for, I don't even know what it's about, but failed to break even on its $200 billion freaking budget. So, and then of course it also is calling out some of the stuff that I've been touting that, well, everybody's been touting. The reason why it went up to from 110 or from $88 to 110 is that it made a big investment into Epic Games, and there's the Epic Games stuff, there's the Fortnite stuff. It made a huge investment into all this other stuff. And it's like, yeah, you guys are saying that you guys are going to put money on there, but appears to lack a clear target return or roadmap. Like, okay, we're going to invest the money, but how are we getting our money back? You guys haven't actually put that roadmap out. And then there's also the planned venture where they're going to have on one channel ESPN, Fox, and Warner Brothers Discovery. They're all going to combine for this big sports freaking package, which is supposed to be expensive. But people are like, okay, well, how are we actually going to make money on this? Are you guys still just going for growth? Or are you guys going for actual earnings per share value? And they still haven't said. It looks like they're still going after growth, and these guys are saying, no, growth is the wrong way to go because your customers could just freaking dip out at any freaking time. Same thing. And then the biggest thing that came out of this report that they're aiming at, and this goes back to, once again, I'm still talking about Comcast, right? Because Comcast, in fact, it was kind of crazy when I was sitting there in the movie theater, and they had these trailers, and all the trailers was just Universal stuff. So I'm sitting in a movie for Kung Fu Panel, which is Universal. Up comes a trailer for Despicable Me. Then up another one comes up for Godzilla and King Kong. And then I forget the other one that was coming up, but these were some pretty big Universal movies that are coming out within the next year. That should make Universal and Comcast some big freaking money. And I was like, God damn! And we were just sitting there like, man, I want to see that. Yep, I want to see that too. Yep, I want to see that. So, in the meantime, inside this paper, they were talking about that the fact that Universal has been expanding and putting more money into Orlando, trying to open up more parks, open up more rides, and they're going to add over 50 new attractions for entertainment, dining, and shopping experience in Orlando to include Universal's Halo Grand Hotel, which is located inside the Epic universe. It's going to have 500 rooms and its own dedicated entrance into the park, which is expected in the summer of 2025. They need about 34 billion of estimated capital invested, and their new attractions that they're going to set up are going to be IP-driven attractions, such as Super Nintendo World, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and How to Train Your Dragon. That's going to be absolutely freaking crazy. I mean, 4 billion isn't that freaking much to invest in your IP to have people go and sit around and freaking do whatever. In the meantime, whatever's happening to Disney just isn't happening. So what I would say is, as if these guys get in, you're gonna need to expect these guys to divert some of the money they've been putting some of the superhero stuff and put more money into the freaking parks in order to make more money there. Um, so you might see a lot less um, new superheroes on the scene as they try and just concentrate the money on the stuff that works. Like, you're gonna see just more Spider-Man stuff. You're gonna see just more, you know, Captain America stuff, Iron Man stuff, this stuff that people know that we know, or more Hulk. I was actually expecting to see Hulk at some point, and well, they're going to see how X-Men does. But man, Bob Iger and Disney, they are fighting for their lives right now because they're getting their asses whooped. T. Jones and Sandy and Humans, yes. See, that's how successful Marvel's uh campaign to make me forget what the fuck was going on. The Inhumans. Super Nintendo is Super Nintendo a Universal property? I think it's an IP that they've invested in, and they now have a license to use on inside of the park. Inside the park. Let's see. Super Nintendo. Yep, Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Hollywood. Well, I mean, someone's got to be, right, because how did they get they probably joined up with them for the Super Mario Brother game, or for the Super Mario Brother movies. So that kind of makes sense in that vein. All right, let's see where are we at. We're at 34.59. All right. So in the meantime, while money is being diverted away from some superhero stuff so people get their other stuff straight and start cashing in on their actual IPs, because look, I think what's going to happen is these companies are starting to realize they may not be able to make or cash in on their IPs at the cinema or at the theaters every single time. They're not going to be able to do it. So they're going to try and get in their IPs on other ways, maybe toys, parks, that way. Um, so in the meantime, I was talking about all that sports stuff, right? Disney was trying to cash in and freaking do a joint venture with Warner Brothers and it was a Warner Brothers, Paramount, and whoever the fuck. Now Netflix, and the most hilarious thing ever, is going to have UFC 299. Oh, excuse me, not even having UFC 299. Excuse me, this is a different thing. Netflix is going to host a fight in between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. And I think that's just going to be feeling. If they make a lot of money, if they get a lot of views on that, then they're going to start hosting a lot more sporting events. Man, what the fuck? Gonna have Jake Paul against freaking Mike's old ass, 58 years old. I mean, he'd whip my ass. I can tell you that. That's going to be interesting. In the meantime, Morgan Stanley has increased its price target to 135, but I would say let's wait until see what's happening with the vote. Yep, there's the 6.5.25. If you're a wrestling fan or have stocks inside for wrestling, Vince McMahon is selling 412 million of TKO stock, which is the parent company for WWE. Top 50 comics according to ICV2 is that Ultimate Spider-Man number one was at the top, then Thundercats number one. Don't forget there was that foil. Batman 142, and then Batman 143 right after that. Transformers number 5, The Amazing Spider-Man number 43, and Spawn 350. Then right after that, Edge of Spider-Verse number 1. So a lot of stuff that's people are not accounted for on some of these shows. Those are actually the books that are actually selling the most. And I actually saw some of those in my sales, but I wasn't really sure if that was true. Scout Comics is coming back and it's going to relaunch this summer with Element Media partnership. um, Now, under this deal, Scout will relaunch December 2024 and even start a new imprint for horror and thriller comics. Dark Harbor Comics Element Media, a wholly owned subsidiary of Element Global. Oh, apparently it's actually on the stock market under ELGL. What they're going to do is they're going to help Scout expand further into the comic book, original graphic novel, gaming, and multimedia space. So I'm going to have to take a look at that. All right, and then this one kind of breaks my heart, but I definitely understand what the fuck is going on because Warner Brothers is shutting down Rooster Teeth after 21 years. Excuse me. Now, for those who don't know who Rooster Teeth is, they were trying to take a lot of uh, manga, anime stuff, and try to breathe life into it, make it into anime, more movies, more shorts, and everything. And they did one kind of. They were able to successfully adopt Ruby, right? They even put it back in some of the comics for DC and everything. But the problem is that nobody read it, nobody watched it. There was even a Ruby cartoon with, I believe it was Nightwing, I believe, and nobody fucking watched it. Nobody freaking cared, man. So this was about time. Like, look, we can go ahead and shut it down, save our freaking money, and let's find some other way to try and implement and kind of, you know, amalgamate freaking anime into the DC world. But because Rooster Teeth, they were just stealing money at this point. Uh, Bob Iger. I can't believe I'm still talking about this dude. Um, Bob Iger believes that Deadpool and Wolverine will be very successful. Well, no shit. In contrast to recent Marvel films. Um, so yeah, he says, according to Business Insider, the MCU has made over 29 billion so far at the global box office. However, Iger continued to argue the point at the conference by saying a lot of people think it's audience fatigue. They want great films, and if you build it great, they will come. And there are countless examples of that. Some are ours, and some are others. Oppenheimer is a perfect example, and that is just a fantastic film. But in the meantime, he thinks that that Deadpool and Wolverine will bring him back. But that's just one movie. It can only do so well. It's only going to be able to do so well, man. They need a bigger hitter. I'm not going to talk more about. Yep, there's supposed to be IT teams of the studios are resuming talks again on March 18th. So PSA. PSA owners are acquiring SGC This deal will bring even more of the TCG card grading market share to the doorstep of the PSA brand. Now, according to Jim Rate's post, PSA has 70% of all of the overall TGC grading market share, and the acquisition of SGC will add another 2% of that total comparison. So, yeah. Embracer, which is the company that owns Dark Horse Comics, they're going to sell one of their studios for about $500 million. That's going to be interesting. I'm not sure if it was just to pay up some debt or are they using the $500 million for some other big project. Usually, when you sell or try to get at least $500 million, it's usually because there's a project like a movie that you really want to do, especially if you're selling off one of your video game studios. It's usually because there's a movie out there that you want to do, and you're going to sell it off, and that'll probably freaking fit the bill. Chad Cave saying Jake Paul isn't going to pay Mike Tillman to destroy him, and then Jake Paul is taking a payday, trying to face a big name. Yeah, absolutely agree. Bloomhouse, veteran director, is saying that he wants to make Jamie Foxx's Spawn reboot. We've been talking about this for forever, since like what 2017 and everything. Um, Bloomhouse, man, I would love to see a Spawn thing under Bloomhouse. Man, Bloomhouse puts out some really quality films. Sometimes they're straight to Shutter, straight to DVD, but they're freaking good. And the only reason why they don't make a lot of money is because I can't take my kids to them. Maybe if I can get the wife up to if I can go see a horror movie with me, I'm good. But otherwise, it's just too tough, man. And the final news piece that I'm going to put together for you guys is the PS6. There's leaked photos of the PS6. These look like these are development modes. This is what they look like. Um, no no photos quite yet of what the actual new DualShock controllers is supposed to be, but here we go. That's what they look like. It looks kind of interesting. Looks kind of interesting. I kind of like it. But but the only thing is just you're not supposed to come out to 2026. I think that's when the new PS5, PS6 is supposed to come out. So that'll be interesting to see. All right, so we are now going to be at the 45-minute mark. So I think it's time for me to take a little sip of something, take a little break. In the meantime, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a clip, and then I'll see you right after the break. And bye. All right, that was a trailer for The Principles of Necromancy by Magma Comics. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go into some of the trending comics and stuff that was actually selling this week. By the numbers, I don't care about how much they sold for. I care about the freaking numbers. For sourcing, I pulled the stuff from Terapeak. And here we go. Number 10 was Ultimate Spider-Man 4th printing. Then there was a Wonder Woman, Saki Nakayama. Wonder Woman number 7. Deadpool 1 foil by Eddie Lee. Wolverine, Leno Yu. Some Carnage action. Ultimate Spider-Man staying, just messing my list all up. Just staying on this list. Not sure what's going on with Space Ghost #1. But people are like in this one. It was just a regular black matted, no color. Then the one that's gonna turn some heads this week is this nice Harley Quinn #38, Women's History Month cover. So there we go. So the top three, actually the one I didn't report was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin, cover A by Escorza, and the Spectacular Spider-Men, excuse me. Wonder Woman was Sozumika, right? I believe so, yes. All right, here are some of the new releases. Oh, no, that was the new releases. Or was this new releases? Standby. Where are we at? Nope, this is going to be. Nope, we're going to go into some of the FOC stuff right now. Very, very quickly. That's cover of the year contender for McClay. Talking about which one? Talking about the Wonder Woman or talking about the Harley Quinn? Oh, talking about this one, the Fabulous Fury, Freak Brothers, and the Other Follies. Gotcha. All right, here we go. Akongon, Brutalizer of the Gods by Oni Press. I believe I have a trailer for this one that I'll play later. I mean, some of these covers actually look pretty damn good. I just haven't had a chance to read any previews on it yet. This one's the David Mack cover. Baby Barbarian #1 by Scout Comics. Here's some nice DC action. This one is Batman #146, cover A by Jorge Jimenez. Here's your Yasmin Putri. Here's a Gabrielle Delado. Jim Lee. Chad K says it's only 210. He's in at least 0.18. Here's your 125 by Dan Panosian. 150 by Jorge Fornes. Batman and Scooby-Doo Mysteries #4. Birds of Prey #8, cover A by Leonardo Romero. Looks like the girls are trying on some lingerie. Yes. Cover B, Derek Chu. And Michael Janine. Your Jim Lee. And I get the concept. I like it. 125 by Ed Curry. Blasphemous by Booker Adolfo. Distillery, issue #2. Your cover B. Here's your cover C by Jorge Corona. Here's your cover D for issue #1 by Sweeney Blue. Cover E, Alberto Locatelli. Cover F by J. Stevens. Blue Beetle. Toki Tokoro. Bristle Mouth. A cover horror. Issue number 2. Sissy. Issue number 2. Lunar is putting out a Peanuts, The Complete Peanuts by Charles Schultz from 1991 to 1992. Grievous Angels, Trout's Mask, and American Beauty is 1970s rock and roll photography by Guinea Wen. Identity Crisis, the 20th Anniversary Deluxe Edition. Killtown, number 1. Scout Comics. Looks interesting. This one is Neil Pavor Zod, cover B by Lucille Perillo. That was really good. This one is number 4, cover C by Mark Spears. Little Black Book, issue number 2 of 4. Here's your cover B. Here's your cover C. The Loop, number 1. Here's your cover B. Midnight Western Theater, The Witch Trial, complete set, issues 1 through 5. Mitch, number 4. My favorite thing is Monsters, book 2. Nottingham. I can't believe this thing is still happening. Nottingham, issue number 11. Cover B, black and white. Papa Duke, issue number 1 by Scout Comics. There's cover B. Looks like bitch just got slapped up a little bit. All right, here we go with Poison Ivy, Jessica Fong. A little bit of S&M won't hurt Batman. Tying him up with a little ivy and shit. All right. All right, cover B, David Nakayama. Cover C, Babs Tar. 125, Bilquis Evely. It's actually pretty freaking gorgeous right there. And for that David Nakayama, there is a 1/50 of that as well. Here we go with The Principles of Necromancy, issue number 1. Let's cover B. Here's your cover C. Rose, issue number 2. Here we go with Scooby-Doo, Where Are You, number 127. Shazam, number 10 by Dan Mora. Here's your cover B by Bernard Sheng. There's a cover C by Ricardo Lopez Ortiz. Miguel Mercado foil. The Sickness, chapter number 5. Here's your cover B, black and white. Spectrograph by Distillery, issue number 1. Written by James Tinian. Here's your cover B by Martin Simmons. And then cover C by Alex Ekman. There's your cover D by Treyad Moore. Cover E by Christian Ward. And then there is a cover F. This might be one to think about. Cover F by Jenny Frison. And then there's a blank cover G. All right, here we go with Superman 78. There's a cover B by Oscar Ayodrum. Cover C, Marco Santucci. Superman House of Brainiac. This one is going to be an acetate poster insert. $24.99 is going to be the price on this one, ladies and gents. Here we go with Superman, Son of Kal-El, T trade paperback, volume 3, Battle for Gamora. Hey, what's going on? Hi, Nathan. Batman, first night of number 2, cover A by Mike Perkins. There's your cover B by Fayumura. And there is a cover C, Mark Aspinall pulp novel variant. "13 Oranges" by Vendaval. And this is just a trade paperback for Air Titans. Unnatural Order, Volt. Here's your cover C. The Veil, issue number 2. Apparently there's a book called What It Is. The formless things which gives you things form. Matt Cave has When the Blood Has Dried, issue number 1. Here's your cover B. Antarctica, issue number 10, Image. Here's your cover B. Crave, issue number 5. Here's your cover B. Deep Cuts, The Great Unknown. The Enfield Gang Massacre. We're at Texas Blood. Geiger, issue number 1. Ghost Machine. Here's your cover B. Gunslinger Spawn number 30. I actually like this one. It's kind of like an old western, spaghetti western type poster. And there's your cover B. Ooh, I think that's a Matina. Cover C. Here's your cover D. Hack and Slash, Back to School. There's your cover B. Oof. Cover C. That was gonna be hard to find. Hack slash kill your idols. Still. Kaya, issue number 17. Last Mermaid, issue number 2. Love Everlasting, issue number 14. I can't believe this one is still going on. Then the One Hand, issue number 3. Redcoat, issue number 1, part of the Unnamed series. The Rook Exodus, number 1. Cover A by Jason Fabok. Here's your cover B by Ivan Rice and Danny Mickey. And then there's a 1 in 50 by Jason Fabok foil. Here's a 1 in 100. And also, I don't have it here, but there's also going to be a cover E blank sketch and a 1 in 500. 1 in 500 for the Jason Fabok, which is going to be a black and white version. Plus, you get a Zoom call for 30 seconds with a pre-recorded ad. So if you guys want anything like that, you guys let me know, and I'll see what I can do. What is the? It's $3.99 each. So, all right. So then there's the Sacrificers, number 7, cover A by Fenimore. Here's a 1 in 10 by Bel Ortega. Stand by. We get lost here. More Spawn, number 352. Cover B. Scorch, number 28. Here's your cover B. Void Rivals by Lorenzo De La Felice. World Tree. Walking Dead, number 86, Deluxe. What's the furthest place from here? Number 18. Okay. Let me check on this one because I believe that should have been it for that round. In fact, it's already we're an hour in, so I believe it's time that we can take a break. Yep, we're an hour in, so we're gonna go ahead and take a break, and then we'll be right back with this, and we'll finish off some of the FOC stuff. Stand by. You got a couple minutes.
First, there was water. Then a great god fell. The god drowned. Our water world welcomed the divine with the gift of meaningless death. But even our murderous world found gods not so easy to slay, for after he pulled the land from the sea to save himself from drowning, Obatala had more to drink. Our creator was a drunk god, and his first creations were monsters.
one. True war can only exist between equals. What I have for you today are the horrors of complete annihilation.
Who are you?
Akagun, Brutalizer of Gods, in stores April 2024.
All right, that was a trailer for Akagun, Brutalizer of the Freaking Gods, and we're back on the Drunken Chat Son, or Comic Crusaders Network. We're gonna keep going with this FOC. It was a pretty long list, pretty big list. Once again, if you guys have any questions about anything, just go ahead if you can stop me, and I'll definitely try and if you can answer whatever questions you got. All right, so up next is we're going to start on some of the Marvel stuff. Star Wars Thrawn Alliance. This one was by Rod Reese. This one right here is we're still on issue number 4. This one was a 1/25, and it's by E.M. Just. This one is by Federico Sabatini. Open order. And then this one is a Kamikoli Master Apprentice variant. Darth Vader, Star Wars Darth Vader, number 45. And who did this one? Lionel Yu. Yep. This one is a 1/25 by Sabatini. There's your Windigard Rebels. There's your Rod Reese. And here's another Master Apprentice variant. Wolverine number 47. This one is a Lionel Yu. This one is a 1/100. Excuse me. Nope. Excuse me. This one is a 1/50 by Greg Hildebrandt and Tim Hildebrandt. This one is your 1/100 by Lionel Yu. This is a Torrin Clark. There's your regular order. The Amazing Spider-Man, John Romita Jr. This one is your regular cover A. Of course, you gotta have a 1/100 black and white. What if variant? Here's your 1/25 by Greg Land. Here's your Peach Momoko. Fantastic Four. You know what? I actually really like this cover. I like the old style, kind of 1930s, kind of 1940s, possibly 50s type deal. This one was drawn by Alex Ross. This one is a 1/50 by, is that Hildebrandt? Yep, A lot of Hildebrands. Here's your Open Order, Trade Dress. Here's the Todd Knock Vampire variant. Symbiote Spider-Man 2099. And this one is your 1 in 25 by Mobily. This one is by Philip Tan. Interesting. Here's your Spider-Punk, but with the Venom. It's called a Cocolo Stormbreaker variant. Aliens. Yep, the Aliens What If. Here's your 1 in 25. Here's your David Lopez. Here's your Lucia Perillo. Invincible Iron Man. By Kyle. 25. Mississippi Chemical Empire. And you have the Incredible Hulk. This one's done by Nick Klein. This is 1 in 25 by Art Adams. This is your Carlos Magno Vampire variant. Everybody's got to be a fucking vampire today. X-Men 97. This one was done by Todd Book. Here's Dave Mack. And excuse me, that version 1 was 100. This one is. This one is by Nick Dakota. Star Wars The High. Then Dave Lopez. This is 1 in 25 by Dustin Gwynn. Here's your Master Apprentice variant. That one's done by Giuseppe Camicoli. Oof. Some freaking garnish. That one's by Juan Ferreira. This one is Bjorn Berens. Yep, Bjorn Berens. This one's Ken Lashley. Here we go with the Resurrection of Magneto, issue number 4 by Stefano Caselli. This one's a Felipe Masafra, 1 in 25. Just freaking gorgeous. Of course, there's some that I don't have, but I will show it to you. Here we go. This one right here, which is freaking gorgeous, is this one is Resurrection of Magneto, issue number 4, Alex Maleev. Here's your Ultimate Spider-Man number 1, 4th print. Ultimate Black Panther, Ultimate Black Panther number 1, 3rd print. Ultimate X-Men #1. Let me make sure this is smaller so I can see it. Ultimate X-Men. This is issue #2. That's a Peach. Oh, excuse me. This one was, yep, issue #2, Peach Momoko. Then this one is a Cola Ultimate Special. This one is a design variant. This one is a 1 in 25 Phil Noto. This one was an open order. Yep, Mike Coy. There's your Peach Momoko. What If Venom. Second print by Lionel Yu. Weapon X-Men. This one's a DK1. This one's a Lionel Yu. 1 in 25. And then this one's a Jan Bazaldua. Here's your Edge of Spider-Verse. This one's been selling pretty well on the secondhand freaking community on eBay. This one is Chad Wayne Harden. Now there is a 1 in 25 Marco Mastrazzi. Make sure I'm not missing anything big. Here is a Edge of Spider-Verse Peach Momoko. There we go. Miss Marvel Mutant Menace. Now this one's by Carlos E. Gomez. This one's a 1 in 25 by Paco Medina. This one's Peach Momoko. Just like a Uncanny X-Men 130 facsimile. Lunar Lodge #2 by Dark Horse Comics. Assassin's Printo Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #150. Man, it looks like a gathering of all the friends of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Here on this one, let's see what's it called. It is called This is the cover D by Loner Gon. This one is a 1 in 10 by Casper Wingegaard. I really like the look of this one. This one is another. This actually is a 1 in 25 by Casper Wingegaard. This one's a 1 in 50 by Kevin Eastman and Sophie Campbell. Here we go with Star Trek number 19. This one's cover A by Levins. Cover B by Ramon Rosanas. Cover C 1 in 10 by J.J. Lindell. This is the Untold Destiny of the Foot Clan, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue number 2, cover A by Santaloco. This is cover B by Neo. Cover C, 1 and 10 by Santos. And you got your My Little Pony books. This one actually looks pretty good. This one is a cover B by Starling. Golgotha Mortar Mountain, issue number 2. And then this one is your cover B by Sesma Sija. Maleficent Gargoyles. Okay, this one is Rage, issue number 6, a Lucio Perillo. Cohen. Here's some cosplay. Let's see. I don't want to go through all this Dynamite stuff. Here we go with some Grimm. Book 1. Cruella de Vil. Garbage Pail Kids, issue number 5. Looks like my diamond isn't tracking this one. Victory. And you know what? I think I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. All right. Now we're going to go on and move on to stuff that is coming out this week. Some of the stuff is becoming a little scarce at the distributor levels. I'm not sure if that's going to happen at your local comic book store, but just thought I'd let you guys know. Here we go. Washed in the Blood by Massive, issue number 1. Not sure what's going on with this naked alien getting probed and everything, but all right. Here we go. Suicide Squad Team Dream Team issue number 1. This one is a variant cover by Riccardo Federici. This one is Outsiders number 5. This is Francesco Mattina. This is a second print of Avengers Twilight book number 2. This is a Simone Bianchi. Black Widow art germ. Blood Hunt Diaries. This one is going to be a preview of the Blood Hunt. This one is free. For just Twilight, the Thor cover. Ghost Rider Final Avengers issue number 1. Ben Sue is going to be a foil cover. G.I. Joe Real American Hero issue number 303, second print. What If Venom issue number 2, Lionel Yu. The Last Mermaid issue number 1. One Hand number 1, second print. Red Sonja, 2023, issue number 8, cover L, the Perillo Limited Version. Star Wars The High Republic Adventures, Phase 3, issue number 4 by Tolaba. And of course, both Ultimate Black Panthers, issue number cover A and cover B. And that, ladies and gents, is tonight's show for Drunken Chat. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us for a little bit, almost till 3 o'clock in the freaking morning. I normally would hang out a little bit more, but I got another show, No Price Podcast, that I get ready for. But yeah, man, if there was anything I freaking missed, absolutely freaking let me know, and I will definitely freaking try and get you guys that information. If you haven't freaking if you need something, definitely freaking let us know through the poll box. In the meantime, please freaking hit the like, subscribe button, all that stuff. Share with all your friends, everything, and let them know. I know it's rough being out with us at 1:30. Actually, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. But hey, freaking, this is the work. This is the way. This is how we grind and freaking keep up with all this freaking stuff. So hey, freaking, thanks for sticking it out and grinding with us. Have a beautiful weekend. See you next week. Out.
For each man in his time, hey, until he walks along the beach and sees his future in the water, along life's arm within his reach. Never needed the world to want.
Sometimes men take matters into their own hands. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
As you guys know, it is Drunken